I, Alexander the Great, have defeated Persia. I was born in 356 BC and died in 323 BC. My scheming mother, Olympia of Epirus, who supposedly had killed my father, Philip II, by hiring a guard to assassinate him. She was my mother. And, well, later, me and Darius II found ourselves to be enemies of each other, which resulted in me going in a 8-year expedition around pretty much Europe, the continent of Europe, and a bit of China and a bit of Africa. My first major strike was the walled island of Tyre. Like 4 years after I had became king in 336 BC. That's when my provisions of 48,100 men, 6,100 cavalry, and 120 ships came to use. Me and my men set some of our ships ablaze and sent them toward Tyre as a type of assault. We held the place in a siege for 2 or 4 years. After that, I decided to visit Egypt, which was not an ally of the Persians. It was just like a stop, I guess. And there was a lot of hospitality for me there. And surprisingly, I actually became pharaoh not long after I visited. Then I founded the city of Alexandria on the shore of the Mediterranean. After that, we went to the mountains and ended up at Sogdian Rock, another ally of the Persians. While the Sogdians were throwing insults at us and hurling rocks down at my couple thousand soldiers, who went to a great expense to climb it, they eventually got to the top and signaled me and some other officers of mine with a white flag, which the Sogdians thought was a surrender. They came out not very heavily armed, and my men had no idea that they thought that they were thinking that they were surrendering. My men ended up killing them and moving on to the desert and sacking Persepolis, the capital of the Persian Empire, then wandering back through a very, very torturous desert which they had came from. Eventually, in the middle of their journey back, still in the desert, Alexander had sent one of his men out to get water. That's where Darius's defeat comes in. He had pleaded with another army to help him out because he was very desperate at the time. The army did not accept the offer and ended up turning on him and resulting in his death, the death of him, 2 other officers, and eventually his horses, who had been stabbed to death with spears and had been stuck. And they were still alive. They still left them alive. They just had them in their sides. Yeah. I gained control of the Persian Empire for 7 years before my death in 333 BC. No, 323 BC, and died of a fever at age 33. This is my presentation.